we are going to be covering the Canon Rebel T5i. Now this camera, I love this camera. It is an awesome camera. Once you familiarize yourself with the functionality of it, it's really quick and slick. Whether you're a novice or you are an enthusiast, this camera is jam-packed full of pro features. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, because I'm filming on that camera right now at the moment. I'm going to get that camera down here on the table. I'm going to get another camera set up, and we're going to do a walk around on this baby. Be right back. Okay, here's the Canon Rebel T5i. Now this camera boasts an 18 megapixel hybrid CMOS APS-C sensor. Now what this means to the layman is just simply that it picks up more information. When you take a picture or you take a movie video, the information that this sensor is capable of picking up is, well, really good. It also has an ISO range between 100 and 12,800, and that is expandable to an H25,600. Now, for those that don't know what the ISO is, that is where you can adjust your light sensitivity. So if you are in a dark place or you're shooting a scene or a picture in a dark area, you can increase the light, or if it's extremely bright out, you can decrease the light for your photo or for your movie. On board this camera, the Digic 5 image processor for exceptional image quality and speed. Now, if you're doing like sports or you're doing something that has motion involved, this camera has a burst rate of 5 frames per second. In movie mode, it captures full HD 1080 at 30 frames per second. The mode dialer up here on top, I like it because it goes all the way around. It does a full 360 and it goes backwards and forwards. So if you happen to miss something what you're trying to set it for, you can go right back to it. Easy turn on button, it's right up at the top. It's got off, on, and movie. Slide it up one, it all comes on. The auto-focusing system on this Canon T5i, usually you would do it through your viewfinder up here, but I just have it here on screen so you can kind of see. I hope you can anyway. It's got these 9 squares, and by selecting whichever square you want, you're telling the camera where you want the focus to be at. The center focus point is a dual cross type, and that's for use at an f2.8, which this feature will help you with low light situation. Okay, so let's cover a few of the things that are on this camera. Right up here front, in the front where the grip is, you've got your shutter release button. You've got your ISO selector. And here you've got your red eye reduction. And then right here, if you can see it, you have your remote control sensor. Then as we turn the camera over here on the side, you have a slot for a full-size SD card. And it goes right in there. Then on the other side, this closed. On the other side, you have a compartment right here, and in here, right here is where you can plug external microphone in, and up here you can plug in a remote control for the camera. And then here in this compartment, you have an HDMI jack, so you can go right into your computer or into your TV. And then you have your AV out right here. Here in the front, you have your flash control. Down here, you have your lens release button. Push that button and you can release the lens, take it off. On the lens itself, the one that came with it, is the Canon zoom lens. It's an 18 to 55 millimeter. It has a 3.5 to 5.6, and it is an STM. On the lens itself, you've got the autofocus or manual focus selection switch on there. You have a stabilizer switch, so that way this lens is capable of helping you stabilize your camera if you are holding it, or just helps you stabilize it. Okay, on the back here, what we start out with, we've got the menu button. You select the menu button, it'll pull up all the functionality of the camera right there, and it's all at touchscreen, or you can use the dial over here to do it. Okay, next is the info button. When you select the info button, it will pull up everything that's taking place with the picture you're about to shoot or the video you're about to shoot. Then you have your dioptic dial right here. What that does is it helps set your sensors. And then once you set it after you first get your camera, you know, the likelihood is you probably won't have to do it again. This is your aperture exposure compensation button. It's used to set your aperture, and then if you hold it to and dial it in. Okay, then over here we got these sets of cross keys right here. And what we have is a white balance selector, so that way you can select how you want it to judge white balance if you're in manual mode. And this one right here is the picture style button. It has 7 different picture styles that are on board with this camera that you can select from. And then over here we have our drive selection button. Down here we have our autofocus button. Right up here you can see we have these 2 buttons right there. You know, this is where you can zoom in, zoom out. They also are used for other things, like I said, for like setting your sensors. You know, you would press this button and then dial in the sensor right up top there. Okay, down here you have the playback button and you have a delete button, so that way if you don't like what you just did, you can delete it right on the fly, so you don't have to worry about it. Now, accessing all of its features and functions are really simple on this camera. Just for instance, if you'd like to take a movie or make a movie, all you would have to do is simply flip this switch all the way up into movie mode, hit this button right here, and all of a sudden you're recording video. It's just that simple. When you're in picture mode, this button here gives you the live view mode, so that way when you press it, then you have whatever's coming up over here. And then if you want to see it through the viewfinder, you press it again, and now everything goes to the viewfinder. Because like if you put your head there, it'll shut the screen off. You can watch. See? It just shuts the screen off. And then of course on the Canon T5i, you are going to find all the pro shooting modes. We look up here on the dial, just for instance, we'll just go through them really quick. Alright, you have the Scene Intelligent Auto Mode, which if you don't want to do anything, you just want the camera to make all the choices and selections, you just set it right there and you can start either shooting both movie or photography. The next one, you have the programming mode for the shutter and aperture. They're automatically set, but you can change other aspects. Then you have shutter priority, where you can adjust and change the shutter. And then you have the aperture priority, where you can change the aperture and then the camera will select the best settings for everything else. Then you have the manual exposure, where this is where you're in charge of everything. Then you have the special scene mode, which will take you into like night mode. And then you have the sports mode, self-explanatory. Then you have close-up mode, like nature, things that you want to get real close up to. Then you have the landscape mode. Okay, they're all off over here. Landscape mode, you have the portrait mode, you have creative auto mode, and then you have the flash off mode, so you can manually control the settings. Okay, now let's take a look at the flash real quick. It does have an onboard flash. Like I said, over here is the flash button, so when you depress it, it'll automatically come up. Now the flash is pretty good. I really haven't had a reason to use it, but if you do need to have more light coming from a flash, it does have a hot shoe right up on top, so you can mount a flash to that. Okay, on the bottom of the camera, you have where your battery goes right there. That's the battery compartment. Then you have your tripod fast release quick plate mount right there. There is a built-in stereo mic, which is right here. Okay, one of the really neat features of this camera is this 3-inch LCD screen. Now this is completely touch screen. Everything you want to do, all the things that you can do with this camera, you can access it easily just by touch, just like you would your phone. And one of the really nice things about this LCD touchscreen is I love the way it articulates. So if you're making a video or you're taking a picture that you want to get yourself in, you can turn it around so that way the screen, the LCD screen, is facing you. Adjusted like this, however you want to do it. And then the really nice part is that when you're storing this camera, this actually goes closed. You don't have to worry about scratching the LCD touchscreen. Thanks everybody for watching my video. I hope you found some part of it at least informative. The Canon T5i, the camera has it all. But this camera really does, in my opinion, have what you're looking for. You're not going to buy this camera and go, man, I sure wish I would have bought something else. You're going to like this camera, you really are. I mean, it has all the features that you could possibly want. And starting out being a YouTuber or a beginning photographer or a novice photographer, this thing has a lot of capabilities. Okay, thank you everybody for watching this video. Click that thumbs up button, please. Subscribe to my channel. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Just put them down there. questions, anything. I'm sure other people will help you. I'll help you. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Thank you once again. Great camera. You all have a great day, and I'll see you again. Thank you for watching.